Welcome everyone to the Derbzilla channel. Today, a quick review video on the Briggs & Stratton Snapper XD electric line of lawn equipment. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start this off with the Snapper XD push mower. This is the non-self-propelled version. I also have their, I guess this is the weed eater slash interchangeable unit. You actually swap in with an edger, a hedge trimmer, all that fun stuff, all with a very convenient little twist thing. You twist this off, push the little button, and you can actually remove this entire end here and then snap on different front end pieces, which is very cool. And also I have the leaf blower or clippings blower, and they all use the same battery setup, which is the 82 volt battery pack. They have a number of different sizes. This is the 2 amp. When I bought this bundle, it came with, I believe it was two amps, which for me is good enough for my backyard and sometimes my front yard as well. And it really depends on the length, density, moisture of your yard. So if you have a pretty wild yard like mine is right now, I might need two batteries, two 2 amp batteries to actually finish my backyard. But you can also get a 5 amp, I believe, which would knock out the whole backyard and probably my front as well. But a real cool, convenient feature is you can actually take this battery pack, snap it in the back of the leaf blower, snap it into the weed eater, and then when you go to the next piece, you can snap it into the mower. And yeah, very cool, very convenient. So I actually keep these on a hot rotation on my battery charger as I'm mowing. The other one is charging. When it runs out of juice, I swap, and I can usually finish front and back yards. So today I'm actually going to mow this backyard, which is a actually fairly sad looking yard, very small, but actually I've not really mowed it this year, so it is quite overgrown. I got some clumps and some thickness going on here, so I may actually need two full 2 amp batteries to get this yard done. So we will actually time lapse that. You can see how this thing handles. Overall, I have owned this for over a year, mowed many times front and backyard. Works great for a light use residential type thing. The big debate, gas powered or electric. For me, small light use. I'm not like a pro yard guy. Works pretty good. As for durability, it's held up fairly well. Kind of beat the crap out of it running it up against the fence, because I do have a decline here, and I did notice my little battery door sheared off, so that's kind of a weak link. Don't think it would be super hard to change it out. It looks like it's a couple bolts. I just haven't got around to contacting them about it. But to insert the battery, super easy. You just want to make sure you line up the little slots here with the slots in the battery door. So for here, it's down and it locks in. When you want to remove the battery, push it in, pops out. And then of course your battery door normally would lift like this. Mine's broken, so I just can lay it on there. But it does have a couple magnetic connections here, so you just slap her on, start it, pull the lever. While the lever's down, you just hit the button. Hopefully. One hand, a little bit more difficult. There it goes. Quite quiet in comparison to a gas-powered mower. So the convenience of the gas-powered mowers in comparison to this is you run out, you just pour more gas in, takes a minute, continue on your way. This, you're limited by how many batteries you have, the charge of the batteries, and the breadth of how much work you need to do. So if you're trying to mow a bunch of yards per day as like a commercial type thing, you're gonna need like 10 plus batteries and a hot charger in your truck, and just keep cycling them or something like that. I'm unsure on the overall longevity of the batteries. For me, it's been over a year. There's 2 batteries I've been using every couple weeks, has been holding up. I haven't noticed any decline in charge, but that's just my case scenario. As for adjustability, you can adjust the lever here to raise and lower your deck. You have this right here if you want to actually blow the grass out the back. There's a little thing that you can clip on here to direct your clippings, or if you want to bag it, you have this right here, which just clips into place. Pretty easy. Pop it into place, collect your clippings, pour them in your bag, and then you can dispose of them however you want. Or if you want to just spray them everywhere, you of course would remove this bag. This closes and covers the back and your glass groupings will come out the side here, and pretty simple. Now, another cool thing with this, when you do make your adjustments of your deck height, it actually does adjust the front and back, so it doesn't just sharply decline or raise the back, and you don't have to do a separate adjustment of the front. You just do one adjustment on this lever. I have noticed that since this lever does stick out fairly far, if you're running real close to a fence or something, you may accidentally bump this and drop your deck into a position you weren't expecting and strip your yard or something fun like that. So I do like how I can just take this battery as I'm mowing, finish mowing, pull it, drop it in here, work on weed eating, drop it in a leaf blower, and all of these things work really great together. So it's a very seamless, self-contained environment. So I'm gonna go ahead and mow this backyard that's quite overgrown. We'll see how long this battery lasts. It's actually only half charged because, of course, another thing with the batteries, if somebody unplugs your charger and it just sits for any length of time, like off season, you will discharge your battery and you won't have a full charge battery. Unlike gas, where you just pour it in and whatnot. But a positive is you don't have to worry about oil or draining the gas tank, winterizing, and all that fun stuff. You just throw it in your garage and you're good to go. And another cool feature I do like of this specific mower is you have your adjustments of your, I guess you could say the height of your arm here, but also for storage, it actually will fold all the way forward, and you can actually store this in a stand-up position on the back pegs it has back here, and it will actually sit on this arm here, arm down here, and you actually have it sitting upwards to get kind of out of the way, and you don't have to worry about taking up all this surface area for storing your mower. So let's get mowing. We'll come back after we're done. Mowing is done. Backyard is complete. Pretty smooth. Had to change the battery halfway through, and that was only because I started with half of a battery, and it's over here. So we can see how much. Here's a little cool button here to tell me the battery indicator, and it looks like he's half of this one, half the other one, so about a whole 2 amp to my entire backyard, which hadn't been mowed yet this season here in South Texas, which I mean isn't super unusual. So about 2 amps to mow the backyard, but as you can see, my backyard is not, I can barely even call it a yard. It's pretty much like a back garden or whatever. Very small, not a lot of surface area here to mow. Wasn't super long, other than some of these low spots down here where the water kind of flows down there. I guess there's a little bit more nutrients in the soil, so it's kind of taller here. And you know, no issues, no you know, weird issues of it bottoming out on this very lumpy yard. And one of the things I really do like is, as I was going, I would just swap the batteries between these. So I only had one battery out here at a time, and I had another battery on the charger. Optimal would be probably 3 batteries for a setup, or maybe a big battery and a middle battery, like a 5 amp. Thing with the 5 amp, I believe, does not work in the weed eater or the leaf blower, so keep that in mind. And then I also wanted to showcase, this is how it sits. If you want to store it, you can have it standing in that nice position like this. And you see, I have used this thing for a decent period of time, you know, over a year. So it is kind of scuffed up, especially on the low area down on this fence here. I pretty much just grinded against the fence, grinded over here, hit it in the front yard in a couple different spots. So it's showing some wear and tear, but it still runs great. I've noticed no efficiency issue. I do need to sharpen the blade probably. It's been, haven't sharpened it yet, but it still grinds through. And the cool thing about this electric mower, the motor itself, is it actually will run kind of a low speed on easy mowing. When it hits thicker grass, it actually ramps up. So you actually can hear it slightly louder as the motor puts some more torque into it or whatever, and actually can cut the thicker stuff easier, uses more energy. So of course, if you have a lot of thick stuff, it runs higher speeds the entire time, so you use your battery much quicker. So very cool overall. You know, I'm a big fan of this mower. For me, in my small yard, it's pretty perfect, and I don't have to worry about winterizing, oil, gas, none of that stuff. And so it cost me nothing to really charge this up, other than a very slight, I guess, increase in my energy bill by maybe $1 for, you know, front and backyard, maybe $1 cost to mow. So I wanted to mention real quick, pros and cons. Pro, stores super efficiently out of the way. Another pro is very inexpensive to run, and overall the expense of the mower itself is pretty cheap. Another pro is the interchangeability of the battery between all of the different gadgets. Swap, very cool. And another pro, very quiet, way quieter than a gas. I could probably run this at night when people are sleeping, and even people, including my wife, inside our bedroom, which is right here, would not hear this thing mowing unless I'm actually like banging into the side of the wall. So that's cool, very quiet. And another pro is it does ramp up the power levels based on the height or thickness of your lawn. So it'll actually push through. I mean, I've had it mow some very thick, tall stuff. Now for the cons, if you're mowing a very out of control yard, it will use a lot more energy to mow that, and you will shoot through your battery very quickly. You will go through the batteries at a rapid pace on a thick, unruly yard. So if you're trying to mow through some kind of crazy field grass or anything like that, you will need extra batteries or the bigger option batteries, and the batteries are fairly expensive. So that's another con, the expense of the batteries, and the charger all is an added expense that you wouldn't have with a gas mower. Another con, kind of nitpicking, is the adjustability handle, which is over here. It does kind of protrude out a little bit further, and so if you're pushing through underneath some underbrush or maybe some low tree or bush, it may snag on that handle and yank you out of your preferred height and drop your deck down to the ground almost, and you will scalp your yard. So that is a negative. Also, the wheels do kind of protrude out fairly far from the deck, so you can't get right up on, on your actual, you know, if you're trying to get real close to a shed or a house, you'll actually have a gap of like maybe an inch or so between the wheels of where they can reach and your deck. I'm guessing that's probably normal with mowers. I'm just a regular guy, regular dad, not a big mowing professional, so this is my unprofessional view of everything. Another kind of con is with the grass clipping bag. I don't know if you saw in the time lapse, but as I'm mowing, often the clipping fragments will fly out around the side. I'm pretty much blinded because it's not capturing every little bit. It does somehow make it through this little bag. So that is kind of a hassle. And these little grippy things that kind of snap on here very easily come loose. And if one of these comes loose while you're mowing or whatever, or before you clip the bag back in, you will blast even more clippings out from underneath it on the sides and everything. So keep that in mind. Another, I guess, kind of a minor quirk is just obviously this thing does take a beating, maybe a stronger finish or something like that, maybe some kind of like durable paint or something like that, but that's probably because I just abuse it a little bit more than you should, and you know, it's whatever. I haven't changed the blade, so I can't tell you difficulty on that. And yeah, I mean, overall that's pretty much my pros and cons. Overall, I'm a gas guy. If you watch my other videos, I do have a ZL1 Camaro, gas hungry machine, not real big on the EVs. And so for me, battery powered devices like this are perfect instead of, you know, for cars and stuff like that, which I'm still on the fence for. Now, another good thing, if you're mowed as a kid or something like that back in the day, old timers, if you remember having to do the freaking pole start 1,000 times till your shoulder comes out of place, this thing is super easy. I mean, you just boom, boom, it starts. That's it. I mean, I can't remember if you hit the lever, I think it's hit the button, then pull the lever, hold the button, hit the lever, and it starts up. Zero hassle, no freaking choke or nothing like that. So, I mean, that's awesome. I love that. And like I said, the big thing, how quiet this thing is. It's awesome. So if you have neighbors you like, you don't want to, you know, give them a headache listening to your mowing all the time, it's perfect. Anyways, that is my very quick review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe, check out my other videos, hit the bell, leave a comment, let me know. I am a very poor lawn care guy, so if you saw anything that I was totally jacking up in my mowing, feel free to give me some tips. So as always, have a good one, and peace.